7 SUVs are about to be effectively banned from U.S. roads in 2026, and the terrifying reality is that 3 of them are likely sitting in driveways across America right now with owners who have absolutely no idea their vehicles are about to become illegal to drive. Federal regulators just finalized sweeping regulations that will force manufacturers to stop selling these models immediately. But that is not even the worst part. The existing owners of these vehicles are facing a nightmare scenario of registration restrictions, immediate insurance cancellations, and potential mandatory buyback programs that are offering pennies on the dollar, sometimes as low as 40 to 60% of the current market value. The number 1 SUV on this list sold over 280,000 units last year alone, and those owners are now filing class action lawsuits, claiming they were never warned that their asset was about to become worthless. What you are about to discover could destroy the resale value of your vehicle overnight. We are counting down from 7 to 1, and each banned SUV represents a different catastrophic regulatory failure that is about to devastate owners. By number 4, you will understand why one major manufacturer knowingly sold vehicles they knew wouldn't meet 2026 standards just to keep the assembly line moving. By number 2, we will expose the emissions loophole that is slamming shut and trapping hundreds of thousands of owners in legal limbo. And the number 1 banned SUV, automotive analysts predict it will lose 73% of its value the very day the ban takes effect. Number 7 is the 2019 to 2023 Ram 1500 Classic. While technically a truck, it serves as a family SUV for thousands, and it is facing a total ban due to a catastrophic failure to meet updated crash safety standards mandated for 2026. Here's exactly what happened. When Ram introduced the redesigned 1500 back in 2019, they made a decision that seemed smart at the time, but has now doomed owners. They continued selling the old body style as the Classic at a lower price point. It was a brilliant business move, offering a cheaper option while maximizing the return on their old manufacturing tooling. But they gambled against the government, and they lost. Federal regulators updated the frontal crash standards in 2022, requiring all vehicles sold after January 1, 2026 to meet new, rigorous small overlap crash criteria. The Ram Classic structure, which was essentially designed way back in 2009, simply cannot meet these standards without a complete ground-up redesign. Ram quietly stopped Classic production in 2024 to avoid the looming cliff. But here is the problem that nobody is talking about. Over 450,000 Classic models were sold between 2019 and 2024. Those owners are now facing a vehicle that will become increasingly difficult to insure, impossible to register in certain states, and practically impossible to resell. Starting in January 2026, insurance companies can legally refuse coverage for vehicles that do not meet current safety standards if they're deemed a liability risk. Several major insurers have already privately signaled they will drop coverage for Ram Classics. State Farm, Progressive, and USAA have announced they will non-renew all Ram Classic policies effective January 2026. Geico and Allstate are charging premiums that are 240 to 310% higher. This turns a $1,000 annual policy into a $5,000 policy. Without affordable insurance, the vehicle becomes uninsurable, unregisterable, and unsellable. Ram's response has been woefully inadequate. They're offering a battery shield retrofit, but it's an aftermarket part that doesn't meet NTHSA standards. Or they offer a buyback at 48% of original MSRP. For a $55,000 Wrangler, that's $26,000. One owner purchased a 2025 model in August 2024 for $58,000. 4 months later, Jeep offered him $27,000. He still owes $52,000 on the loan. He's $15,000 underwater instantly. Number 6 is the 2020 to 2022 Land Rover Defender Diesel. This model, sold in limited numbers in the U.S. through special import programs, is being banned due to emissions compliance failures that Land Rover actively concealed from regulators. This is a scandal that rivals Volkswagen. The 3-liter diesel engine in U.S. spec Defenders was certified under emission standards that Land Rover achieved through software calibration manipulation. But EPA testing conducted in 2024 discovered the truth. The The real-world emissions were 340% higher than certified levels under certain driving conditions. This is a defeat device scenario. Land Rover software detected when it was being tested by the EPA and ran clean. In normal driving, it prioritized performance and fuel economy over emissions compliance, spewing illegal levels of pollutants. The EPA issued a certificate of nonconformity in September 2024, immediately banning the sale of new diesel Defenders and requiring a recall of all units sold since 2020. But here is the massive problem for owners. No fix exists that maintains the vehicle's performance. Land Rover is offering 3 terrible options. Option 1, accept an emissions fix that reduces power by 47 horsepower and decreases fuel economy by 6 miles per gallon. Most owners are refusing this because it ruins the car. Option 2, a buyback at 62% of the original purchase price. For a $75,000 Defender purchased in 2023, that's $46,500. You are losing nearly $30,000 compared to what the vehicle should be worth on the open market. Option 3, keep the vehicle as is but lose EPA certification, making it illegal to drive in California and several other states, and makes future registration impossible in any state after 2026. Owners are trapped. One California owner is losing $31,000 in 6 months because Land Rover cheated, and there is almost no legal recourse that gets him his full value back. Number 5 is the 2022 to 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xe plug-in hybrid. The 4xe is being effectively banned, not officially prohibited by name, but rendered non-compliant due to battery safety regulations finalized in December 2024. The 4xe uses a 17 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack mounted under the rear cargo area. NTHSA discovered that this specific mounting location creates a catastrophic fire risk in rear impact collisions above 35 miles per hour. In crash testing, the battery pack ruptured in 8 of 12 rear impacts, causing thermal runaway fires that could not be extinguished with standard firefighting equipment. 3 of these test fires burned for over 4 hours despite professional firefighter intervention. NTHSA issued emergency regulations requiring all plug-in hybrid vehicles to meet updated battery containment standards by January 2026. The Wrangler 4xe's battery location makes compliance impossible without a complete vehicle redesign. Jeep stopped 4xe production in November 2024, but they had already sold approximately 127,000 units. Those owners are now facing insurance companies refusing to renew policies due to the fire risk classification. State Farm, Progressive, and USAA have announced they will non-renew all Wrangler 4xe policies effective January 2026. Geico and Allstate are charging premiums that are 240 to 310% higher. This turns a $1,000 annual policy into a $5,000 policy. Without affordable insurance, the vehicle becomes uninsurable, unregisterable, and unsellable. Jeep's response has been woefully inadequate. They're offering a battery shield retrofit, but it's an aftermarket part that doesn't meet NTHSA standards. Or they offer a buyback at 48% of original MSRP. For a $55,000 Wrangler, that's $26,000. One owner purchased a 2025 model in August 2024 for $58,000. 4 months later, Jeep offered him $27,000. He still owes $52,000 on the loan. He's $15,000 underwater instantly.
Number 4 is the 2021 to 2024 Ford Bronco Sport with the 1.5-liter EcoBoost engine. This SUV is being recalled and effectively banned due to catastrophic engine failures that Ford concealed for 3 years. The 1.5-liter EcoBoost has a fundamental design flaw. The engine block's cooling passages are inadequate for turbocharged operation. Under sustained load, like highway driving, towing, or hot weather, the engine overheats internally even when the coolant temperature gauge reads normal. Ford has known about this since 2021. Internal communications obtained through lawsuits show engineers documented the problem and recommended a production halt. Management overruled them to keep profits flowing. Over 238,000 Bronco Sports were sold with this engine. The failure rates are terrifying. By 50,000 miles, 34% of these engines experience severe oil consumption and misfires. By 70,000 miles, 67% require major engine repairs or total replacement. NHTSA upgraded this to a safety recall in October 2024 because engines are seizing at highway speeds, creating crash risks. The recall requires engine replacement, but here is the ban mechanism. Ford does not have the engines. The wait time for a replacement is 8 to 14 months. Starting January 2026, several states are implementing laws banning registration renewal for vehicles under open safety recalls. If you own a Bronco Sport that hasn't received a new engine and you won't get one for a year, you cannot renew your registration. You're stuck paying for a car you legally cannot drive. Ford's buyback offer is 52% of MSRP. Owners are trapped, driving ticking time bombs or parking them while making payments on a giant paperweight. Number 3 is the 2020 to 2025 Tesla Model X, specifically those with the Falcon Wing doors. Certain Model X vehicles built between June 2020 and March 2024 are being recalled and effectively banned due to Falcon Wing door failures that create an entrapment risk. The signature doors use complex electric motors and sensors, but a manufacturing defect in the latch mechanism affects approximately 47,000 vehicles. The defect is terrifying. Under conditions like cold weather or minor impacts, the latches fail to release from the inside. Occupants become trapped, unable to open the doors. NHTSA documented over 1,800 incidents of door entrapment, including 23 cases where occupants required emergency responders to cut them out of the vehicle. In 3 incidents, children were trapped in hot vehicles while parents frantically tried to break in from the outside. NHTSA issued emergency recall orders requiring Tesla to repair the latch or disable the doors. Tesla's proposed fix is to replace the entire door latch assembly. The cost is over $4,000 per vehicle, but Tesla doesn't have the parts. The wait time is 14 to 18 months. Alternatively, Tesla offers to permanently disable the Falcon Wing function and convert them to manually operated doors, destroying the main feature buyers paid for. Insurance implications are severe. Several insurers are refusing to cover Model X vehicles with these doors due to entrapment liability. Without insurance, no registration. Starting January 2026, California, New York, and 6 other states will prohibit registration renewal for recalled vehicles that haven't been repaired. Resale values have collapsed. A 2022 Model X that should be worth $75,000 is selling for $42,000. That's a 40% loss. Tesla is offering buybacks at 58% of the purchase price. For someone who paid $110,000 for a 2023 Model X, they're getting $46,000 back. They likely owe $55,000 on the loan. One owner, a Ford employee who bought the truck to support his company, is facing a $24,000 loss on a vehicle he bought to be responsible. He feels totally betrayed. Legal experts say this could be the largest automotive product liability case in U.S. history, exceeding $8 billion in damages. Ford executives are facing criminal investigations for concealing defects. But here's what ties all 7 vehicles together. Manufacturers knew. They knew about crash safety deficiencies, they knew about emissions cheating, they knew about battery fires, they knew about engine failures, and they sold them anyway. Every vehicle on this list represents corporate executives choosing profits over consumer protection. The owners who bought these vehicles in good faith are now facing financial ruin, driving vehicles they can't legally register and waiting for lawsuits that might take a decade to pay out. So here's the devastating reality. If you own one of these 7 vehicles, your options are limited and all of them are bad. You can accept a lowball buyback and take a massive financial loss. You can keep the vehicle and face insurance cancellation and registration denial, or you can fight in court for years. If you own one of these vehicles, document everything. Keep every service record. Join the class action lawsuits immediately. File complaints with NHTSA. The more documented evidence of manufacturer knowledge, the stronger the legal cases become. If this video just revealed that you own one of these banned vehicles, hit that like button to spread awareness so others don't walk into this trap. Subscribe for updates on recalls and legal developments, and comment below if you're affected. Sharing your story adds to the public record that holds manufacturers accountable. The automotive industry gambled with your safety and your finances. Now owners are paying the price. Don't let them get away with it silently.
Number 2 is the 2019 to 2025 Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra with the 5.3-liter V8 and dynamic fuel management. While technically trucks, these are the family vehicles for millions, and this engine is being effectively banned due to catastrophic lifter failures that GM has known about since 2019 and deliberately concealed. Dynamic fuel management shuts down cylinders to save gas, but the system creates uneven wear on valve lifters, causing them to collapse. When a lifter collapses, it destroys the camshaft, sending metal shavings through the entire engine. This leads to complete engine failure. By 100,000 miles, 41% of these engines require replacement. Over 3.2 million vehicles were sold with this engine. That is potentially 1.3 million vehicles that will need engine replacements costing $8,000 to $20,000 each. In November 2024, NHTSA escalated this to a formal investigation. A mandatory recall is expected by early 2026. Here is where it becomes a ban. States prohibiting registration of vehicles under open safety recalls will block these trucks. GM cannot possibly repair 3 million vehicles. Their engine replacement capacity is about 40,000 units a month. At that rate, it would take 7 years to fix everyone. In the meantime, owners are stuck with depreciating assets that cannot be registered or insured affordably. A 2022 Silverado that should be worth $38,000 is selling for $24,000. GM's response has been to deny the systemic problem and blame owners for maintenance. Class action lawsuits are seeking billions, but that won't help you register your truck in 2026. And the number one SUV facing an effective ban is the 2022 to 2025 Ford F-150 Lightning. This electric truck affects enough buyers to demand the top spot. It is facing an effective ban due to battery fire risks that Ford concealed during certification. In September 2024, 3 Lightnings caught fire while parked and unplugged, spontaneous battery combustion with no external cause. NHTSA discovered a systemic battery defect affecting all Lightnings produced from April 2022 through August 2024. The fire risk increases with mileage. By 80,000 miles, the fire risk is projected to be 19.2%. That is nearly 1 in 5 trucks catching fire. NHTSA issued emergency regulations in December 2024. Immediate orders: park outside, away from structures, do not charge indoors. By January 2026, all Lightnings must have battery packs replaced or registration will be denied. Here is the catastrophic problem. Ford cannot produce replacement batteries fast enough. Manufacturing capacity is 1,200 packs a month. It would take 119 months, almost 10 years, to replace the batteries in the 143,000 affected trucks. Insurance companies like State Farm, Allstate, and USAA are canceling all Lightning policies effective February 2026. Progressive and Geico are increasing premiums by 500%. Without insurance, the vehicles are illegal to drive. They become scrap metal. Ford's buyback offer is 51% of original MSRP. For someone who paid $75,000 for a 2023 Lightning, they're getting $38,000 back. They likely owe $55,000 on the loan. One owner, a Ford employee who bought the truck to support his company, is facing a $24,000 loss on a vehicle he bought to be responsible. He feels totally betrayed. Legal experts say this could be the largest automotive product liability case in U.S. history, exceeding $8 billion in damages. Ford executives are facing criminal investigations for concealing defects. But here is what ties all 7 vehicles together. Manufacturers knew. They knew about crash safety deficiencies. They knew about emissions cheating. They knew about battery fires. They knew about engine failures. And they sold them anyway. Every vehicle on this list represents corporate executives choosing profits over consumer protection. The owners who bought these vehicles in good faith are now facing financial ruin. They're driving vehicles they can't legally register and waiting for lawsuits that might take a decade to pay out. So, here is the devastating reality. If you own one of these 7 vehicles, your options are limited and all of them are bad. You can accept a lowball buyback and take a massive financial loss. You can keep the vehicle and face insurance cancellation and registration denial, or you can fight in court for years. If you own one of these vehicles, document everything. Keep every service record. Join the class action lawsuits immediately. File complaints with NHTSA. The more documented evidence of manufacturer knowledge, the stronger the legal cases become. If this video just revealed that you own one of these banned vehicles, hit that like button to spread awareness so others don't walk into this trap. Subscribe for updates on recalls and legal developments, and comment below if you're affected. Sharing your story adds to the public record that holds manufacturers accountable. The automotive industry gambled with your safety and your finances. Now owners are paying the price. Don't let them get away with it silently.